Welcome, my dear friends, to Parsha Power, Parsha Eikev, which this Shabbos is a very special Shabbos. It is the yartzeit of the Rebbe's father, world-leading Kabbalist, Rabbi Levi Yitzak, and Rabbi Levi, known with friendship as Rabbi Levi. He passed away in Alma-Ata, in Kazakhstan, the capital of Kazakhstan. And he passed away because he was exiled, because he was a rabbi serving God. He wasn't afraid of the communists, he wasn't afraid of them. And he passed away in Tovshin Daled, 5704. So that would make it close to 80-some years ago. The Parsha Eikev. Let's discuss the Parsha Eikev and then the relevance to this special giant Rabbi Levi. The pasuk says, "V'hoyo Eikev." If you will listen to God, "V'shomer Hashem elikecha lecho es habris ve'es hachesed." God will keep the covenant with you. Says Rashi, the first Rashi, what does it mean, "V'hoyo Eikev tishmun"? That you will keep the mitzvahs that normal people step on with their heel. Why does Rashi have to change the simple meaning of the word Eikev, which means because? Because here the pasuk is telling you that God is going to keep the covenant, which a covenant is beyond rationale. When you will deal with God beyond rationale. When you will not go for the big fish, for the big mitzvahs that you like and make you feel comfortable. But the small opportunities, whenever you have an opportunity to connect to God, you grab it. That shows you're not serving God only rationally. Then, mido keneged mido, God will keep for you as habris ve'es hachesed, which is infinite. There was a teacher in the city of Lubavitch who, when he taught kids stories, the Parsha, he never taught them things that were super rational, miraculous. So they fired him. Because little kids have to know that Judaism is beyond rationale. That's the foundation of Judaism. And for this, the payback is with healthy generations, keeping Torah mitzvahs, and having es habris ve'es hachesed. There is another translation brought down in the Zohar. V'hoyo Eikev. It'll be at the end of all times. Tishmun, you will listen. God promises us He'll turn on the heat like He's doing now around the world. And everyone's going to turn to God. That's what the Zohar says. There's another translation. Eikev means heel. Eikev is known in the Zohar as Ikvis de Mashiach, the heel of Mashiach. It says that a human being is an entire world. He has oceans, he has forests. You know what a forest are? The hair, the beard, the hair, that's the forest. Eikev sheba adam, the heel of a person, ze malach hamov sheba adam, that is the angel of death. It's the lowest part of the body. The infections come dead. It's the lowest, very little life, heart, skin. We are the heel. There was Moshe Rabbeinu, the head, and the Rambam, and the Nasi Yisrael, the Rabbeim. We are the Ikvis de Mashiach, the toenails before Mashiach. V'hoyo Eikev, it'll be then Tishmun, you will listen. So let me tell you an interesting story. There was 100 years ago, in the times of the Tzemach Tzedek, a group called the Cantonisten. It was one of the most horrible periods in Jewish history. Tsar Nikolai would come to a city and say, all right, folks, I need 50 young boys, 25 boys, 25 girls, to take them to the Russian Tsar's army for 25 years. And it was the most horrific scene because the rich people would pay money, they shouldn't take their kids. It was terrible. Parents were all crying, Yankila, don't forget you're a Jew, here's a pair of tefillin. It was an amazing, amazing, horrific scene. These Cantonistan, being 25 years in the Tsarist army, were all beaten. And they had on their flesh cuts from the terrible treatment that they got to try to convert them to Christianity. These Jews were very simple Jews, but a strong belief. They had a Shabbos off, and they came to the Tzemach Tzedek, and the Tzemach Tzedek said for them a special Hasidic discourse. And the theme of the discourse was like this. When a person, there's hot boiling water, where will a person put first, his head or his foot? His heel he'll put first in the hot water. Says the Tzemach Tzedek, it's not because he doesn't care about the heel. It's because the heel is more humble to the soul. The head has its own calculations. So the Rebbe the Tzemach Tzedek said, you are Bali Mesiris Nefesh. This infinite connection to God beyond rationale is mostly felt where? In the heel. So we don't have as much as enlightenment as in the early days of early, we're on the Eikev, but we're committed to God beyond rationale. This was the life story of the great Kabbalist, teacher, rabbi, the Rebbe's father, Rabbi Levi, who his yartzeit is this Shabbos. And he gave up his life to uphold Torah's emes, the Torah of God, the Torah of truth. He wasn't afraid of the communist. He wrote thousands of pages of Torah. He was a prolific writer. All of it was confiscated by the KGB. Which Torah did we get printed from Rabbi Levi? Not those pages, but his wife brought him a Chumash and a Zohar and a Tanya, and on the side he would write notes. Those pages, those Eikev, she would make him ink with tea leaves, and he would write. She asked him, Rabbi Levi, why don't you write your memoirs? He said, what am I going to waste a piece of paper for memoirs? I'll write some more Torah. And this commitment to God, Eikev commitment, is what stands by Am Yisrael, not the rational connection, but the Eikev connection. And with this, we will march to Mashiach. Have a wonderful week. I would like to bless our producer's father with a complete recovery. We've been having some weeks where we couldn't do Parsha Power because he was busy doing the mitzvah of honoring his father and attending to his needs in the hospital. God should cure him and give him everything good. Shalom.